What's up? I'm Jim Barry. Welcome once again to Miami Life, the show that takes an up-close look at life right here in South Florida. Well, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis raised eyebrows this week when he spoke in favor of eliminating property taxes in the state of Florida. The governor tweeted that taxing land is the more oppressive and ineffective form of taxation, and indicated he supported a constitutional amendment to abolish property taxes. Now, at first glance, that might look and sound good, but how would we pay for schools and police and other services that those taxes provide for? Yvonne Taylor asked local homeowners their view about this novel idea.
Made me crazy. Now I can't sleep.
That is how Jessie Chardron feels about paying property taxes in South Florida. Just like many parents, she came to Coral Park Senior High to pick up her son. She shared with us property taxes are a nightmare.
I'm going to sell my house.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis agrees. On a post at X platform, he wrote, "Property taxes are local, not state, so we need to do a constitutional amendment which requires 60% of voters to approve it and eliminate them, which I would support, or lower them."
Technically speaking, you can do it, but the questions are, what are going to be the repercussions?
Dr. Esteban Santis is a policy analyst at the Florida Policy Institute. He says many people don't know what they're cutting if they eliminate property taxes.
You're cutting school budgets. You're cutting budgets for public parks, libraries, fire, police services.
So if they were to cut property taxes, how would they make up for these funds?
In the Florida legislature, there was this conversation last year about passing a study to eliminate them and replace them with a consumption tax, essentially a sales tax.
Santi says doing grocery shopping would be a nightmare.
Everybody else will be paying more at, when at the cash register if we were to do it.
Realmente no nos vamos a beneficiar.
We are not going to benefit, said Noelio Herrera, a homeowner whose son attends a public school in Miami-Dade.
Si lo eliminan ya, eso tendríamos que asumirlo
If property
nosotros.
tax is eliminated, we would have to pay for all these services ourselves. Knowing that, would you agree on getting rid of property taxes?
I don't agree.
You don't agree?
No.
So that changes the dynamics of everything.
Yes.
Yvonne Taylor reporting. We'll see where that goes. Well, this Saturday will mark the 15th anniversary of the Dolphins Cancer Challenge. This annual bike and run event has raised, believe it or not, more than $75 million for cancer research. And for so many, participating is deeply personal. My colleague Lauren Pastrana introduces us to one man who rides in support of a family of cancer survivors.
Robert Merlin is a cancer fighter, even though he's never been diagnosed himself. He's been the son, brother, father, and husband of someone battling cancer.
Is there any family, sadly, that hasn't been touched by cancer in one way or another?
Michelle and Robert Merlin's daughter, Elisa, was diagnosed with a brain tumor almost 7 years ago, just months after giving birth to her own daughter.
I was in shock and fear, and just sitting there while she's having her initial examination, which was at a different hospital, and there was a plan suggested to us for care or for treatment that we didn't like. It didn't make sense to us.
That's when their primary physician recommended going to Sylvester for a second opinion. Elisa had surgery to remove the tumor, followed by radiation, and she's now cancer-free.
It's just a great relationship, and we can't express our appreciation enough to what they have done for Elisa and our family.
Some patients view themselves as just numbers. Dr. De La Fuente, I know, views Elisa as family, and Elisa the same in return.
But this wasn't the last time the Merlins turned to Sylvester for treatment. In 2019, Michelle herself was diagnosed with breast cancer. Robert's sister also tackled the disease. Both caught it early and are healthy today. His mother had lung cancer, but sadly, it was too advanced. With so many loved ones touched by cancer, it's no wonder Robert, a second-generation South Floridian and lifelong Dolphins fan, hopped on his bike 14 years ago and started riding for a cure.
It was 100 miles the first day, stay overnight in Palm Beach, and then ride 75 back.
This year, he's pedaling for 54 miles. Robert has helped raise more than $250,000, making him one of the event's heavy hitters. He uses email to make the ask and says no donation is too small.
I'm competitive and I am goal-oriented, so if I set the goal, I want to achieve it. And I've set high goals for raising money, and I've done pretty well in my efforts. It's a large amount of money. It's never enough because there's always more work that can be done, but I know that all sorts of people I will never meet are being helped, and it's a wonderful feeling.
Let's do a deep dive now with my colleague Lauren Pastrana. And Lauren, this piece really illustrates how cancer touches really just about every family that you can think of.
It really does. So many of us have our personal connections. For me, and why I'm running in the 5K at DCC is for my mother, who's a cancer survivor. But not everyone has that immediate family member. But I'm sure if you look in your extended family or in your friend group or your friends' families, there is someone there who has been touched by cancer in one way or another. And that's why this event draws so many people, because so many can unfortunately relate to it.
And we're blessed to have Sylvester Cancer Center right here in South Florida, and they do some terrific work. And they have really raised the bar in terms of cancer treatment, haven't they?
Yeah, they sure have. What I have learned in all the stories that I've done with Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center over the years is that they are focused on personalized cancer care. I've asked doctors there, why is it so hard to find a cure? Why don't we hear the word cure in terms of cancer? But we are seeing people survive every single day, which is great. And the way they explain it to me is like, you don't treat, the Mercedes with the parts of a BMW is how it's described. So basically not every cancer treatment works for every type of cancer. So what they've learned at Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center is that they can use different forms of treatment on different patients with their different types of cancer. That can be very effective for one person, maybe not for the next person, but then that next breakthrough is coming that can help that other person down the road.
Yeah, because for so many years people were afraid more of the cure than the disease itself, but
Absolutely.
I think that has changed quite a bit.
Yeah, it's not so much, people think of chemo and radiation and get scared, but there's so much more, many more options than that. It's no longer chemo where you're hooked up to an IV for hours at a time. There's oral chemo that you can take and from the comfort of your home, and the side effects aren't as scary and as grim as a lot of people have dealt with over the years. There's people who go through chemo now and don't even lose their hair. There's so much out there, and it's thanks to all this research, and of course that's thanks to the funding from events like the DCC.
I remember I was there year one, and I could still see Jim Mad Dog Mandich there, and of course his brave fight, and he was really the inspiration behind this. It's hard to believe it's been 15 years, but for people who have not been out there to experience this, Lauren, describe it.
It's just such an inspirational and motivational feeling to be surrounded by people who are all united for the same cause. We all have that connection out there, whether you're someone like, Robert Merlin, who is, riding on behalf of family members, or what's also cool about this event is you have the survivors themselves taking part in it. And Sylvester actually offers a training program for these survivors to train for the DCC. So we'll be seeing a lot of them out there on Saturday as well.
I'm going to ride, but I didn't train, so I'm a little worried.
They're going to smoke you, Jim. Be careful.
I bet they will. And lastly, I do want to ask you about Elizabeth Jenkins, of course, the wife of the late Jason Jenkins, who was so instrumental in raising this event to the next level. She has taken on as the chair of this event, and we did a piece with her, and she is also very inspirational.
Yeah, she is absolutely a powerhouse. If you go to the DCC website, she's obviously one of the top fundraisers for this event, but it really speaks to what this event is all about. She is doing it, in honor and in the legacy of what her husband left behind. Then I talked to, Michael Mandich. He's doing this in honor of his father, Jim Mandich, and then people like me who are doing it for my mom. Just anyone who's out there, it's all about carrying on that legacy and honoring those who have either lost their battle with cancer or those survivors who are still out there today, and celebrating them, because there's nothing like seeing them cross the finish line and then going right to ringing that bell as those survivors. It's truly something special to see.
Amen. Looking forward to seeing you out there.
Can't wait.
Okay, and I won't let you down. I'll be there.
Okay, good. I know you will.
All right. Lauren, thanks so much. And of course, join us this Saturday at noon. Live from the Dolphins Cancer Challenge at Hard Rock Stadium for our live CBS Suits Miami special, Challenging Cancer. We're going to take you to the finish line, have live interviews, and share the stories of the people like Robert who are at the center of this effort. That is Saturday at noon here on CBS Miami. But up next, High Seas Entertainment.
This has been my dream since I was a little girl, so the fact that I get to live it every day with this amazing cast, it's incredible.
We're going to introduce you to the people who entertain us on cruise ships and show you up close how they get ready for these long months at sea. Plus, we'll take you courtside for a women's basketball league that is redefining the game for a new generation of superstars. Miami Life coming right back in a moment. Welcome back. Arbetter in Westchester has been top dog for hot dogs for nearly 70 years. The iconic fast food joint just inducted several prominent folks here in South Florida into its Hall of Fame, including one of the first families of Miami. Here is CBS News Miami's Maribel Rodriguez.
Hey everybody, it's President's Day, but more important than President's Day is Arbetter's Hall of Fame. Hey, come check it out.
And we did. In the heart of Westchester, they are honoring the top dogs of the community with a special recognition, the Arbetters Hall of Fame.
It's sort of funny, but at the same time, it's serious because of the love for community.
And among the inductees, our very own Miami royalty, Gloria and Emilio Estefan.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Joe. Although they may have dozens of awards, they say this one has a special meaning.
This is special because, as I was saying, I biked all over Westchester growing up. I learned how to drive here. We married and we lived 11 years in what is now Miami San Michelle Boulevard.
Another honoree, a man who has also helped shape the community, Dr. Joe Greer, who founded the FIU School of Medicine.
It's incredibly touching because this is where I grew up. These are my memories. I'm Cuban American, but my memories are of Westchester.
And as the medals were given out,
I got a plate and fry and a Coke for here.
Inside it was buzzing with hot dog lovers ordering up those mouth-watering dogs, among them a previous inductee ordering his own.
One of the hugest honors of my life to have the monster dog named after me at Arbetters.
A huge honor for all the inductees, for Arbetters, the heart of Westchester since 1959, for the community and for those who always know where they're going but never forget where they came from.
This is real Miami sound because Westchester represents a lot of different people from different places, especially Cuba. And you know something, they support us all the way from the beginning. You never forget with the people that help you.
We feel blessed.
Did they give you guys a hot dog?
Well,
no,
that's coming.
That's coming.
Listen, we get 10% discount.
Yeah. Well, 10% off, not bad. I'm sure they're going to have to give that same deal to all the 26 inductees, which, by the way, included several politicians, local organizations, as well as the president of Christopher Columbus High School. But I have to say, the star of the entire event, yes, they're famous hot dogs. In Westchester, Maribel Rodriguez, CBS News, Miami.
Looks tasty. Congrats to all. A new 3-on-3 women's basketball league has set up shop right here in Miami. It is called Unrivaled. Our Erica Gonzalez talked with some of the league's biggest stars about why Unrivaled could be a game changer for the sport.
Unrivaled is redefining women's basketball at the highest level.
It's about an hour and 15 minutes total, and so a lot of fast pace, but I'd say even in these first weeks you've been able to just see how competitive it's been and how everyone wants to win.
For Sabrina Ionescu, one of the sport's biggest stars, the new league with the 3-on-3 format is a slam dunk. 36 players from the WNBA in 6 clubs are shooting hoops on a major cable television channel several nights a week. And beyond the hardwood, Unrivaled is unmatched.
Like everyone a part of this league right now owns a part of the league, and that hasn't been done before in women's basketball, and so understanding that.
The season tipped off in mid-January. Along with an equity stake at the league, it offers the highest average salary for players of any professional women's sports league, $220,000, which is close to the maximum base salary in the WNBA.
This paycheck alone for the 2.5 months or what it is definitely more than my rookie contract.
2023 WNBA Rookie of the Year Leah Boston says the money is good, and so is being an elite company. Here she is getting pointers during practice from an all-time great, Lisa Leslie.
And so for me, that's a blessing, you know, having this opportunity because it allows me to keep playing basketball. It allows me to keep growing in my game.
WNBA players have notoriously played overseas during the offseason to make money and stay in shape, an issue that came under heavy scrutiny when star Brittany Griner was wrongfully detained in Russia while playing for a foreign league.
Unrivaled keeps athletes in the States, and everything happens in this building right here in Medley. The space was retrofitted to include this court and a long list of amenities.
You have the top equipment, top recovery equipment, cold tub, hot tub, sauna, you name it, Unrivaled has it.
The league is the brainchild of Olympic gold medalist Brianna Stewart and Ephesia Collier. Major brands and investors have thrown their support behind the product, and now fans are buying in too. The inaugural season is sold out, and 3 million viewers tuned into games in the first week. Unrivaled arriving amid a meteoric rise in women's sports.
Obviously, we're at this tipping point now where we're getting what we deserve.
Giving players hope this is just the beginning.
I think there's no ceiling. So whatever they want to do, honestly, they probably can.
Impressive. Thanks, Erica. The league says it has signed a 2-year lease for the location in Medley, but eventually it could take the league on tour to other cities. All right, still ahead on Miami Life. Before they set sail, the performers who put on the show on cruise ships have to put in the work to get ready. We get a behind-the-scenes look at how that all comes together. Welcome back. Anybody who's ever been on a cruise knows there's no shortage of entertainment on board. From musical acts to live theater, stand-up comedy, and even acrobats, the cruise lines make sure there is something for everybody. But have you wondered how those performers get ready for those nightly shows for weeks and months at a time at sea? Well, many of the performers for Carnival Cruise Lines rehearse right here in South Florida, and we went there to get a first-hand look.
It's early evening, and the young talent is pouring into the massive rehearsal studios at Carnival Cruise Lines. All of them have shown star potential in their winning auditions. The dancers, the high wire artists, and the musicians. They come from all over the world. When they arrive, they don't know each other from the man in the moon. But after weeks of grueling rehearsal, they're expected to be tight-knit and cruise ship ready.
I love how we're all just thrown together and they're like, be friends, be family, but here are some amazing shows to do.
Horns, when you get to make sure you're driving all the way through it.
At the center of it all is rehearsal director Doug Emery. His job, polish up the music acts the way they used to back in the day at Motown.
Nice job.
Very nice. Okay, guys, I have an announcement to make. You're hired. That's what I think. Emery, however, wants to make sure this young band connects with its cruise ship audience.
Also, make sure that, hey, if I want you to say hey or if I want you to clap, you're directing me, right? The audience doesn't know what you want them to do. So if you want them to clap, invite them to clap. If you want, hey, I need your help on this, hey, whatever.
Years ago, Emery himself was a cruise ship performer before he graduated to work with some of the biggest names in the business, from the Bee Gees to Barbara Streisand.
D minor?
D. Well, he decided it was time to settle down to a less hectic pace.
It's been extremely rewarding in a way that I wasn't expecting. Set my skill set in front of me and go, okay, here's what I'm an expert at. Where do I go with this? And this just sort of fell in my lap.
Now, every day, he sees the exuberance of young entertainers who will soon be shipped off to months at sea. You love it?
I love it.
Why?
Someone told me I couldn't do it, so I made sure that I could do it.
This has been my dream since I was a little girl. So the fact that I get to live it every day with this amazing cast, it's incredible.
You really have to trust this guy.
Yeah, I do. I know. And I don't even know him that well. So.
Yeah.
You want to go? You're up next?
No, I'm good. Thank you. Now, full disclosure, Emery has joined me on stage for a few shows over the years. Sad as a gypsy, serenading the moon. He is a music production whiz who, thanks to Carnival, now seems quite content sharing his musical genius with the next generation.
working hard to get polished, and they're all going to be terrific. We'll be right back in a minute. And that's going to do it for this week's edition of Miami Life. Remember, we'll see you every Thursday at 6:30 on the stream. You can also watch all of Miami Life episodes on demand on our YouTube channel. I'm Jim Barry. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you soon.